Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Amanda the Sewist, and in this video I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this stylish wrap Ankara top. Okay, so if you're interested in it, kindly watch till the end. I'm using this brown paper to draft the pattern before I transfer it to my fabric and cut. First thing I'm going to be doing is to come down by 1 inch from the upper part of my brown paper and then connect the points together. This line becomes my shoulder line. From that point, I'll be marking my shoulder to bust, which is 9, shoulder to waist 16 inches. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side, 9 and 16. Now I'll be marking from my waist to hip measurements. I'll be using 12 inches for this because I want my top to be that length. So you can take the length of your top before you mark that point. Next, I went ahead to connect the points together to get straight lines like this. I'll be putting in my bust measurements on the first line, which is my bust line, my waist measurement divided by 4, and then my hip measurement divided by 4 on the last line. After that, I'll go ahead and connect the point together with my ruler to get the shape of my bodies. Next, I'm going to be putting in my shoulder measurements, which is 14 divided by 2. I have 7 inches. Mark it on the shoulder and then bust line like I have done and connect the points together this way. From that line, I'll be coming down by 3 inches for my neck depth and then 3 inches for my neck width. Next, connect the points together to create your neckline. At the shoulder line, I'll be coming down by 1 inch to get my shoulder slant, so connect it to the neck. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to divide my bust by 6 plus 1.5 to get my chest line. I had 7.5, so I'll be marking 7.5 down there. Next thing I'll be doing from here is to draw a straight line like this, and then I'll go ahead and mark my bust line on that line. Connect the points together. Then I'm going to be dividing that 7.5 into 2 and then mark the center. Come in by ½ inch, okay? So at this point, I didn't find my armhole curve, so I had to use my hand to draw in my armhole. If you have the curve, go ahead and use it. So after getting my armhole, next thing I'm going to be doing is to trace everything to the other side of the brown paper. Or if you want, you can redraft it on the other side. So after tracing, I'll go ahead and draw in all the lines using my marker and ruler. Okay, we need the full bodies. Both sides of the front to make this pattern. This is what I have after. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to come in by 1 inch from that side. The waist. So after marking the 1 inch, I'm going to be going up by 1 inch and then coming down by 1 inch, okay? Just like this. Next, you see there's a line dividing both sides, okay? The center line. I'll be going in by ½ inch. So I realized the ½ inch was small after, so you can make it about 1 or 1.5, okay? But then the ½ inch wasn't bad as well. So next, I'll go ahead and connect from this point to meet it, and then from the shoulder to meet at this point as well. Next, I'll go ahead and add my sewing allowance, which is 1 inch. And this is all we need for our pattern, okay? This is what we need for our pattern. After everything, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So just watch the way I'm cutting it out so you don't make mistakes when you do. This is all we need for it. So I'll be using this fabric and then a lining. Note, you can decide to do it without the lining because the real video I saw, there wasn't a lining. So after laying my fabric, I'll go ahead and place it on top of it like this and then pin it down, okay? You can decide to pin it anyhow you want, and I used just 1 yard of fabric, okay? 1 yard is enough for this. After that, I went ahead to cut it out with 1/2 inch seam allowance all round except the side which had 1 inch. Every other part is 1/2 inch, okay? I took the pins off and then I'm going to show you what I have. Cut the same thing on your lining, okay? Whatever you cut for the main fabric, you are cutting the same thing for the lining. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to join the side of my main fabric and then my lining by 1 inch because that's the seam allowance I added at the side, okay? So I'm going to be using my lining to show you how I did it, okay? So just mark 1 inch on the side like I have done and connect the points together this way. Pin it down, take it to your machine and stitch. After stitching both, this is what you should be having, okay? This is what you should have. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to join the shoulder. After joining the shoulder of both, this is what you should be having, and I'm going to be pinning it down, okay? So open this up like this, and then I'm going to open the lining up as well, okay? With right side facing each other. Open up the seams at the shoulder and then pin it together. Make sure you open up the seam so that after sewing it, it doesn't become bulky at that part, okay? So after this, I'll go ahead and pin it down all round, okay? It's advisable to pin around so that when you are sewing, it doesn't move. So I'll pin every part down before I take it to the machine and stitch. After stitching the upper part and then the side, you have to pin the lower part as well, okay? So the hem, I'm going to pin the hem down at this point, and you can see I am opening up the seams to press the center together, to pin the center together. So make sure you do same. And I added 1/2 inch seam allowance all around. So after pinning, I'll go ahead and stitch my 1/2 inch seam allowance all around it. Now I'll be marking the center of this particular part, okay, and then mark my 1 inch at the upper part and lower part like we did on the pattern. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side and then stitch. So I'm going to be stitching 1/2 inch all around like I said. After stitching, this is what you should be having. You see, I didn't stitch this part, okay? The 1 inch I marked up and down. So at the end of the day, it's going to be 2 inches opening over there. This is what I'm going to be using for my band. The width is 5 inches and then the length I have is about 44 inches, okay? Next thing to do is to fold it into 2 on the wrong side, and I'll be stitching 1/2 inch to close it up. After stitching the 1/2 inch, turn it this way and then make sure the seam is at the center and secure or stitch the end. This is what you should be having after. After stitching, I'm going to turn it out to the right side. Note you are stitching both. It is 2 bands I have over here, so you are cutting out 2 and stitching. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to put it inside. Make sure the seam is facing the lining, okay? So place it inside like this and make sure the seam is facing the lining. So since it wasn't put in straight, it's a bit slanted, so I had to extend or pull it out and then mark 1/2 inch at the tip so that I can pin on that 1/2 inch, okay? So I'm pinning exactly on the 1/2 inch so that when I stitch, it doesn't get crooked or the line becomes straight after stitching. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side, but with this, I'm marking the 1/2 inch before I put it in. After putting it in, I'm going to be pinning on that 1/2 inch, okay? So make sure the lining is exactly on the 1/2 inch and then pin it down. After that, I'll take it to my machine and stitch. After stitching, you should be having something like this, okay? Next thing I'm going to be doing is to work on the armhole. So open up the shoulder this way and then turn it. So watch the way I'm going to turn it. Turn it to this direction, okay? This direction, and make sure the seams are together. Open up the seams and then pin them. After pinning the seam, you can go ahead and pin it to your desired length, okay? But make sure you have a space for turning. And doing this is a bit difficult, but then when you do it, it finishes your armhole nicely. Or you can decide to skip this part and then pipe the armhole. It all depends on you, okay? So I'll go ahead and then pin it down, take it to my machine and stitch 1/2 inch. I'll be stitching 1/2 inch after pinning because I added 1/2 inch seam allowance to the armhole area. Take note of that. You can see I'm spending so much time over here because it's a bit difficult when doing this. After stitching, I'm taking off my pin at this point to show you what I have. Next, I'll go ahead and turn or pull everything out through the remaining space in the armhole, okay? So you're not stitching every part of the armhole because you'll be pulling it out at the end of the day. So after pulling it out, you should be having something like this with an opening at the armhole area, the lower part of the armhole. So this is my space over there. I'll go ahead and press it down before I finish the armhole, okay? Press the armhole as well. After pressing, I'm going to be folding 1/2 inch in. So since you stitched 1/2 inch earlier, when you are folding this 1/2 inch in, it's not really difficult because it is following the stitched line, okay? So when you fold it in, just pin it down and then take it to your machine and top stitch, okay? I stitched about 1/4 of an inch or just close to the tip, okay? You don't have to stitch 1/2 inch over there because you want to close it completely. So pin it down and then take it to your machine and stitch. After stitching, you should be getting something like this, okay? I used a different color because I want you to see what I did. So this is the end of my top. I hope you enjoy these tutorials. Don't forget to like, comment, and share my videos. Bye.